Hello everyone and welcome to DC Central, and in today's video we are going to be breaking down and going over the news that a Birds of Prey spin-off could be making its way to the CW, so let's discuss. So yes, you heard that right, we're going to be talking about a Birds of Prey spin-off in this episode of DC Central, and what's interesting about this, and the reason why this has come up, is because Katie Cassidy, who of course plays Laurel Lance, both Earth 1 and Earth 2 versions on Arrow, has supposedly and apparently pitched a Birds of Prey spin-off show to the CW to hopefully get them to like it and of course greenlight it and put it into production. Now, this is all rumours, this hasn't really been officially confirmed, but it comes from sources close to the CW saying that Katie Cassidy has officially pitched this show. So let's talk about this. So the Birds of Prey, if you don't know, are a DC Comics property, which is about a group of female vigilantes, specifically the Black Canary, the Huntress, and also Batgirl. That's kind of your main team, and also that can sometimes translate to Oracle, depending on, you know, what time frame we're looking at within the comics. So the Birds of Prey are a very cool team. I really love the team myself. We actually did have a Birds of Prey TV show back in the day, which I believe was on the CW. I could be wrong, but it might have been on the CW. And also just what's interesting about that is the actress who actually played the Black Canary on that show is actually the main villain of Batwoman Season 1. So that's really interesting. We get all those little ties in back there. And there are rumours that she might actually show up as her version of the Black Canary in Crisis, but that's a whole other story for a whole other video. But talking about this, seeing that the Birds of Prey are a really popular comics team right now, it could be really interesting to see a show based on the Birds of Prey come to the CW. Now, Arrow did kind of give us our de facto Birds of Prey team in Arrow Season 7. In Season 7, we had that episode where Laurel kind of went evil for a bit, and then we had Sarah come back, we had Dinah, and we also had Laurel and also Felicity create a female team to help Laurel and go after her, and this was kind of our de facto Birds of Prey team. So this was really cool. It's kind of been established, it's kind of been set up that the Birds of Prey could actually be a thing that the CW could play with and mess around with if they wanted to put the time, the effort, and the money into it. We've seen a precedent for it. People responded well to those characters. People responded well to that episode in particular. I believe that was one of the best episodes of Season 7. So they've already set a standard that this could work and this could actually do very well on the CW because people did respond well to this episode. So the idea of a Birds of Prey spin-off coming to the CW is definitely one that I feel like the CW would be smart to put forward, and definitely one that the audience would definitely enjoy. Also, it's interesting that Katie Cassidy herself personally pitched this, if it did happen, because Katie Cassidy obviously is an actress. But what's interesting about Katie Cassidy is she seems to be becoming a lot more hands-on when it comes to her acting work. Obviously, we actually know she is directing episode 3 of Season 8 of Arrow, so the fact that she's going to be, like, essentially personally handling this, you know, going to the CW herself to pitch this show shows a lot of initiative and also shows a lot of passion behind this project, that Katie Cassidy would really take this in hand. You know, I'm sure she would be like a producer on this. Maybe she would, you know, produce the show. Maybe she would be a director for an episode or two. Like I say, she's already directing episode 3 of Arrow this season. So there's definitely a lot of precedent that Katie Cassidy has a lot of passion for this, and that is why herself had personally pitched this to the higher ups at the CW. So which characters would show up in this show? Well, like I say, in terms of our core team, I imagine it would be obviously led by Katie Cassidy as Earth 2 Laurel Lance. I imagine Juliana Harkavi would also stick around as Dinah Drake. She's a bit more of a tricky one because obviously she doesn't really have powers anymore, so it's kind of interesting to see what they would do with her, but she was part of that team in Season 7, so we could see that happen. Depending on what's going on with Legends at the time, we could see Katie Lotz return as Sarah Lance. That would be great as the White Canary. I really want to see more of a dynamic between Sarah and Earth 2 Laurel. I really want to see how they interact, because obviously they're Sarah's, but from different, they're sisters, but from different Earths, so that's kind of interesting. So if this show doesn't actually end up happening, go chuck Laurel on Legends. I'd be fine with that, just to see how that happens. But like I say, so far it'd be Laurel, it'd be Dinah, it'd be Sarah. Also, a big one that we could bring back would be Jessica DeGao as Helena Bertinelli, aka the Huntress. Huntress is a main staple member of the team in the comics. She's a character who's been on Arrow. We've had her. We've had history with her. It'd be awesome to bring her back. We've been waiting for Huntress to come back. I believe there's been rumors of her coming back since Season 6, so we really need her to make her way back into Arrow, back into the Arrowverse. And the way to do that through a Birds of Prey spin-off definitely makes a lot of sense to me. And in regards to other characters, I think, we're going to need a tech member of the team. We're going to need a techie member of the team. As, like I said, in the comics, Birds of Prey often has Oracle on the team. We're going to need our Oracle. Now, Felicity is essentially the Oracle of the Arrowverse, but I don't really feel like Felicity would come back for this show. Basically because she'd be playing the exact same character she played on Arrow, and she would basically be playing the exact same thing. Because like I say, with a character like Laurel or Sarah, they would be kind of playing different versions, not different versions per se, but they would have a slightly different role in the show. They wouldn't be side characters, they'd be main characters. Felicity would kind of be resolved back into the same role she had on Arrow, so I don't really understand why Emily Bett Rickards would want to come back to this show. But what I think would be cool, actually, as a kind of different character to take on in this role would actually be to bring back Echo Kellum as Curtis Holt. Curtis has now left Arrow, but it'd be really cool if he actually came back and became that techie character for this show. Curtis knows Sarah, he knows Laurel. It'd be really cool if he actually, came back and did that and filled what would be Felicity's position, but it'd be Curtis instead. I think that'd be an interesting way. Of course, they could introduce an entirely new character. That's completely possible. We could even have a completely new character on the Birds of Prey themselves, who would replace maybe someone like Dinah or Sarah, but I think it'd be really cool if we actually got Curtis to reprise his role and be the tech guy and, the guy in the chair for the Birds of Prey. My only worry about the Birds of Prey spin-off show, and my only thing that in my head that makes me think it won't happen, is that we are getting a Birds of Prey movie from Warner Brothers and DC next year in February of 2020. This is, of course, the kind of, its full title is Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. That is the movie's full title. This is kind of a Harley Quinn spin-off. We're taking Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad in 2016 and spinning her off into her own movie, and also including some Birds of Prey characters with it. We are getting a version of Laurel, we are getting a version of the Huntress, we're also getting Renee Montoya, who is a version of the Question, and we're also getting Cassandra Cain, who at some point does actually become Batgirl in the comics. So we are getting a de facto Birds of Prey team in the films of the DC Extended Universe very, very soon. It's actually the next DC Extended Universe movie actually is Birds of Prey. We do have the Joker movie coming out later on this year, but that's not a part of the wider DC Extended Universe. So the actual next DCEU film is Birds of Prey. So the fact that this movie exists and it's happening and it's completely greenlit, it's going to happen, it's in production, it's basically filmed. They're going into reshoots very, very soon. That's the only thing that really puts this into question, because obviously the film division of Warner Brothers is very restrictive when it comes to the TV thing. The TV side of things doesn't really get to do what it wants to do a lot of the time because of the film stuff. The biggest example of that is Slade on the show, Deathstroke on Arrow. The reason why he's been very restrictive on the show, why we don't see him as often as we probably should, is because Warner Brothers has plans to use Deathstroke in the movies, and that's why we don't really get to see Slade as much as we'd like to, and probably why we won't see him in Season 8, which is ridiculous. But I feel like, there's a lot of things going for this show. I feel like there's a lot of things that would make it work. The only thing is the fact that this Birds of Prey movie is happening and is coming out next year. So who knows what's going to happen with that. But what do you guys think about this? Make sure you let me know your thoughts on the Birds of Prey show in the comments down below. Do you think the show will happen? And if so, what would you like to see in it? Which characters would you like to see? And what do you think the story and the villain would be and all that? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more movie reviews and you want to see more, that's my other channel outro, I do apologize. If you want to see more DC content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. And I hope to see you guys again next time.